Hey guys, so today we have this. It's an ETQ TG3000 3000 watt generator. If you remember from the short, it did work. It did sort of work anyway. But what we don't know is if it would run on its own. We know it would start, we know it generates power, but we don't know if it runs on its own. So let's find out by turning on the fuel, pulling it over, and seeing if it actually starts. I know it's got plenty of fuel in there, and it seems like it's fairly decent because the cap's not rusty, unless it's a new cap, but inside I'm not seeing any rust. As for oil, let's have a peek, see if we're in here. I can get it open. Really tight. Just make sure we have enough oil. Yeah, I'd say we have enough oil. There we go, get you guys situated. Plug in the test light. Generator's on. I think the choke is on. Yeah, pretty sure that's what it means. So choke is on, fuel is on. Let's see. Nothing. Well, let's see if it'll continue to run on its own if we prime it. All right, so we'll get the air filter off. I'll give it a spray. Oh, choke. Let's open the choke. Give it a spray. Close the choke. Well, phew, goodness. All I could smell, you're gonna laugh when you hear this, but all I can smell is that cheap body spray. Yeah, but it didn't keep running. It did come up to speed, did run for a little bit. I think it was burning whatever was in that body spray, whatever was left, because good grief. That was interesting. Right, so it looks like we gotta go into this carburetor. That was fun though. That actually was a lot of fun. I did enjoy that. That was kind of neat seeing it fire up, and it's pretty quiet. I was worried it was going to be really loud, but it's actually fairly quiet. So I guess we got to crack into the carburetor. Let's get it all set up. Yeah, I can't do that right now, but in a couple days, we'll get back to this and get started. For you, it's basically just a scene change. For me, it's going to be a couple days. All right, see you soon, guys. There we go. Now some nice exclusive content for the members only. Let's get this air filter put back together. Got my sister's wedding I'm going to, so that's the reason I can't continue working on this. It's also pretty late. Right now I think it's 6:30. It's not that it's so late. It's just, it's not. Oh. Maybe that's, yeah, the choke was closed, that's right. Yeah, it's not so much that it's late, more along the lines that it's kind of late to be working on it out here. Also have like dinner to get for the kids, and there. Also myself. I do have to make dinner for myself too. That was kind of neat. It was really stinky. That big cloud of smoke, that was really stinky. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be so, I don't know if everyone would complain so much about the smell of the exhaust if it smelled like that, because it was just stinky mostly because it was unexpected, and it was just a lot of it really up close. But I'm sure that as it would dissipate through the air, it wouldn't be so bad. I mean, it's better than smelling some people's body odor, or you know, the human excrement on the streets of some cities that you walk in. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, okay guys, so I'm gonna get packed up for now, and in a couple days, hopefully it's supposed to be nice in a couple days. It's been like all wet, as you saw on top. It's up here, as you can see, look at that. It's all wet. It's just been constant rain. I've been trying to record some videos, you know, just to get ahead, especially coming into the winter season. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just been constant rain. So yeah, for now, this will be on hold because as I said, I've got my sister's wedding to go to, and as soon as we're done, then yeah, it's not as soon as we're done. As soon as that's done in a couple days, then I'll be back to this. Right, and another thing, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not wearing the brace. It's been quite a few weeks, but yeah, the surgery's doing well. I can't quite get my arm straight. It's getting close. What in the world was that? Crazy. But yeah, I can't quite get my arm straight, because this one I can. But it's getting there. It's getting there. Still a bit of swelling in the elbow, but it's getting there slowly. It's getting there slowly. I think working on these, it's helped keep me sane, and it's helped me keep some strength in my arm. So anyway, guys, I'll see you in a couple days. So we'll get the air filter back off, 5/16, and this is not a 5/16 socket, is it? I'll be right back. What a conversation. Right, let's try that again. 5/16. Right, so let's try that again. 5/16. I'm not taking this apart a whole bunch of times. I think it's like 6 times I've had this thing apart. And those look like 10 mil. At least I hope that's 10 mil. Yep, 10 mil. Now, provided I didn't miss anything, that should be all of them. Let's see. Nope, missed one. Down here. Right down here I missed one. That one's a bolt. Okay, we got a gasket or a flange. And of course we've got another one that's stuck on there. Let's see. There we go. Got that one off. Carburetor should be. It is free, but it's not free, if you know what I mean. We'll empty the tank after, but right before we put the carburetor back on. But for now, let's get this guy off. Maybe. Alright, mini pry driver, I guess. Let's see. There we go. That popped it free. So now we can get the fuel line off. Maybe. Actually, let's just pull the fuel line off from here. Why not? Nice. Squirting fuel. There we go. That actually worked out pretty well. Anti-surge spring. Come on, surge. There we go, anti-surge. All right, choke's open, choke is closed. Right, so there's the carb, all dirty. Believe that's a drain as well. I think it's just a drain. Maybe it's also an air valve, but I don't think so. Pretty sure it's just a drain. Looks nice and corroded. But other than that, it doesn't seem too bad. Let me get this into somewhere. Oops. Don't drop it now. Jesus. Right, let me get this somewhere warmer so that we can pull it apart and get it all cleaned up and put back on. Then we'll take care of draining the fuel out of that thing. All right, we'll see you soon, guys. Okay, so we'll take this guy off. This will drain the fuel. Hopefully there's still some fuel in here. Some kind of spilled out before I brought it in. Yep, there's fuel. Just want to make sure there's no water in it. There's water in it. Oops. Look at that. There's definitely water in there. That'll never start with water in it. Okay, so let's pop that off. It looks like 10 mil. There we go. She's cracked free. Yeah. Look at them little bubbles of water in there. See, maybe I can. There, yeah. Should be able to see it in the bottom there. Little bubbles of water. Not fun. Not fun at all. Okay. But other than that, the bowl doesn't look too bad. Alrighty, that's looking a lot better. There, I'll set the nice parts off to the side. This needs a bit more rubbing off. Some crud on it still. It's not too bad though. Should seal up either way. Okay, so now needle looks good. Nothing in the bowl or in the float, so that's good. Let's remove this fuel line. We'll clean it out and reuse it later. So this, we'll count the threads in. There's one, or I should say half. There's one full turn. One in, I guess 1 3/4, or 1 1/4, or a little over 1/4. So 1 and a little over 1/4 out. Now we got the pilot jet. Okay, I gotta get the idle set screw out. I don't have these guys. One sec. I'll get it out. I don't have any security driver heads on me. Because of course I don't. Man, they really don't want you tampering with these things, eh? That's crazy. Using tamper-proof screws? Like, come on. There's no reason for that. Yeah, that never would have come out that way. Look how long it is. See if we can poke out some of these holes. Okay, and the emulsion tube. I gotta get my proper screwdriver for that. I forgot it. Now, here's hoping I can get it out. That it's not stuck in there. I'll leave a link for this screwdriver down below. You kind of need a special kind of standard cabinet tipped screwdriver, because normal ones, like this one, are flared on the sides and they won't fit. This one's also too fat. I've ground down the flares on the sides on this one, but for this carb, it still won't fit. So this one does. It's a lot narrower and fits just fine. There's the emulsion tube. Now the link is an Amazon Associates link, so if you do buy something through it, I get a small cut. I do appreciate it, and I usually put that right back into the channel. Sometimes my wife sees it and she's like, "Ooh, I could do a new case for my phone," and ends up buying a new case for her phone or something like that. But it is what it is, but for the most part, I try to put it right back into the channel. Okay. I think that's about all that comes off. I'm going to get this in the ultrasonic, and we'll get this all blasted out and cleaned up. And next time you see it, we'll be rebuilding the carburetor and putting it back on to the... I forgot to count how many. Oh, no, I did. 1 1/4. 1 1/4. Or 1 3/4. What was I saying? Yeah. We'll rebuild the carburetor, and we'll get back on the machine. All right, guys. I'll see you shortly. Okay, so the carburetor, it's all done in the ultrasonic. I'm just going to wait for it here for it to start to appear out in front of us. Oh, there's the carburetor. And I want the bowl to follow. Nope, I was wrong. Oh, now the bowl shows up. I wonder what else is going to show up next. Oh, I see a fuel line. I think that might mean that the clamps are going to show up. Yeah, looks like it. There they are. Good. All right, I wonder what's next. Oh, it looks like the bowl nut, the gasket, and the air filter gasket have arrived. The emulsion tube, the needle, pilot jet, the main jet, idle air needle, the fuel drain, and of course finally the idle speed control. Neat. That's kind of neat how they arrived. Right, so let's poke out some of these holes. That's a lot better. This is actually a copper wire, so it's not going to damage the brass at all. It's a little soft. Looks like a fuel air mixture one because it comes to a fine point, so I think that's fuel air mixture. That's the idle screw, and this is the fuel drain. Tighten that back down. There. Next, I guess we can get the fuel line on. Oops. That seems to be okay in there. So we'll get the pilot jet in. Next, we'll put in the emulsion tube. There we go. Now the main jet. Now we'll reassemble the float. And the needle, we'll pop it on. Now in goes the pin. There we go. The pin is now in. Okay. On goes the bowl. So let's see, it goes on Yeah, so we keep the drain out facing that way. Rubber gasket, 10 mil bowl nut. There. Perfect. That part's assembled. Now, get this guy in. Screw it down hand tight. And then back out 1 3/4. There, so that's in. Half. 1. Half and 1/4. We can always adjust it after. Now the idle speed screw. You know what? Maybe I should have waited to put this on. I forgot about this. Now, since this generator doesn't idle, you don't really need to put it in that far. There. Couple threads sticking through. That's more than enough. There. It's ready to go back onto the generator. All we need is that back on. In between that and the air filter, and we're good to go. All right, guys. See you out there. Okay, so let's drain it. So before we put the carb back on, let's quickly drain out the fuel that's in there. Is that the side to use? Nope, that's not the side to use. That's the side to use. We'll take a sample. Are we? That's interesting. So there's no fuel coming. Okay. Let's open the sediment bowl. I wonder if that's the whole problem this entire time. It's just that there's no fuel flow at all. So I brought a couple wrenches. I couldn't find the 3/8 or a 10 mil wrench. So I've got an 11. It might work. I mean, worst case scenario, I had an adjustable. Full of water. Completely full of water. Yeah, see, nothing. That's all that's inside the sediment bowl. Wouldn't you know it? Sediment. Yeah, there's nothing coming out at all. I'm gonna see if I can pick it out. Maybe it'll start flowing a bit, then we can drain the tank. Oh boy. I see a fuel driblet there. With a little bit of brake cleaner, I'll clean it up. Unfortunately, I don't have any other valves. I don't think brake cleaner will do anything, but worth trying. Right, I have one other way that I can empty this. I think I'm gonna have to do it that way. Give me a sec, guys. You know, it doesn't look too bad in there. Come here for a sec. Take a look. Yeah, I don't know how well you guys can see in there, but it doesn't look too bad. I can see some blobbies of water, such as down there. That dark spot. No, not that circle of me and the holding the phone. Yoo-hoo! Hello. Yeah, that blobby right there. That one. Yeah, and those. Yeah, that's water. So we got to get this drained out, because that's going to rust the tank, and that would not be good. Ooh, you can see it really well now. Cool. So let's drain this fuel. Should be okay, at least once the water's out of it. So this tank's not very full. Right. I'm going to have to tilt it up to get the fuel out. Oh boy. I honestly thought it was more full than that, but clearly I was wrong. It's going to be interesting. Let's try that. That's not good fuel. Yuck. That was a good amount of it. Let's maybe lift it up a bit more. Yeah, so it looks like this one here, the Nokia, yeah, kind of shut off, so I'm missing some of the footage. Hopefully, it was complete user error and the battery's not dead. So let's see. Was it user error? Look at that battery life. Complete user error. Oh boy. All right, let's get started again. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that, guys. There's the fuel that came out of it. Yep, lots of water in the bottom there. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. Plenty of water in there. Okay, so I've tilted it up a bit more. Let's try. See if we can get a little bit more out of it. Okay, I think that's about it. Okay, that's good news, I guess. That's it. That's all she wrote. Pretty sure that's how the water got in. Now, I can take that guy off. And I'm just getting a bottle set up for any last little driblets if I can catch them. I guess there's no more driblets. Yeah, it's completely clogged. Look at that. Sludge. Oh, it's dripping out the top now. Looks like I fixed it. Good. Let's see if I can clean out this sediment bowl. Oh, it's stinky, that brake clean. Really nasty stuff, this one. Looking better. Thrilling, right? This is just thrilling. Absolutely top-notch YouTube right here. Watching me clean a sediment bowl. Oops. There we go. That's looking a lot better. Much, much better. Oops. Throw it on the floor. Or on the ground. Whatever you want to call it. Let's clean that off again. Oh no, I got brake clean on the paint. Oh, that is a tragedy. It might strip the paint. Oh no. Yeah. What a tragedy. Nice. Thanks, brake clean. You were a great help. I have another one inside, but the top broke off, so I guess I'll have to use that. The screen. Then the gasket. Varsher, the rubber varsher. And now the sediment bowl. Yay, we fixed it. Oh, right. I gotta still blast that out. And I gotta figure this out. What am I gonna do there? Darn it. I forgot about that. That's how the water got in. Let's tilt this over so I can drain whatever little bit's out. Is there something dripping out of here? Oh no! Look! There's stuff dripping out. Uh-oh. Whatever could that stuff be? Oh, I see gummies in there. No. It's not tragic. Honestly, it's not tragic. I'm going to spray out some with some WD-40. There, some water displacer 40. That should help things move right along. See? That's exactly what it did. It moved things right along. I guess what I also could do, get my air gun and blast it out. but we can put that back in. Okay, I'll get my air gun and I'll blast it out, and once that's all done, I'll switch the cameras back on and we'll get this back together. All right, see you shortly, guys. Okay, I guess we can get started getting this carburetor back on. The governor in. Oof, fall down a couple times. Anti-surge spring, maybe, if we're lucky. Come on, anti-surge spring, get in there. There we go. Now, okay, that was fuel, but this tank was supposed to be empty. Come on, fuel line, get on there. Come on, fuel line, cooperate. There we go. Fuel line's on. Carburetor's on, but we're not going to fully secure the carb, I guess. We're just going to set it like this. That way we know it runs first. Get some fuel in it, try it out, see if it runs. If it runs, then we'll get it back together properly with the air cleaner on. Okay, so let's tighten this up. There. So now what's on everybody's mind? Does this fuel burn? That's a good question. Let's see. Will it burn? Let's move the gasoline out of the way so it doesn't explode. If it does burn, we'll light a stick on fire so we don't get too close. And yeah, that's kind of not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. Right. Well, let's try that again. Just a little bit more, and we'll see just with the lighter. Something tells me that fuel does not burn. I really don't think that fuel burns. That is no longer gasoline. That is more like some kind of cleaning solution. So that stuff is going to be disposed of. I guess it's no longer flammable. Well, that was kind of unfortunate. I was really hoping that would burn. Right, so let's fill up that fuel tank. Well, maybe not fill it up, but let's add some fuel. Right, so we have fuel. It's not leaking out. Definitely took the fuel, no problem. So, choke is on. Generator's on. Will it run? Why is she not sucking in fuel? Choke is on. Let's add a little bit of carb spray. See if it continues to run. Oops. Try that again. Oh. Choke is on. So choke is all the way off. So far so good. She's holding. It's still running. So as you can see, we do have power. So that's working. So let's see what it's working at. Right, so let's shut it off and see if it'll restart. Okay, so it's off. Put the choke on. Generator's on. Let's see if she'll restart. Yeah, no problem. Fired right up. Good sign. She's running. So all we'll need to do now is get it all back together, get the tank all put together, and we'll be able to put it through paces and see if it can still generate its 3,000 watt load. Perfect. All right, guys, let me get all set up and we'll get started on that. I don't think you need to see me putting the air filter back on because it goes on the same way it came off. 3 bolts, well, 2 bolts, or 1 bolt and 2 nuts. So yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. All right, give me a few minutes and I'll be right back. All right, members and Patreons, here we go. It's yeah, I didn't think of this one all that well, did I? Right. So we'll drain the fuel back in here, maybe. There. I guess what I could do is I can just let it run and burn out that fuel. That wouldn't be too bad. That'd probably be a good idea. Just let it run, burn off that fuel, and then we'll get it done that way. What do you think? You think that's a good idea? Let it run first, and then yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll burn off the fuel, and then we'll get this back. Actually, that's yeah. Then we'll get it back assembled because I got to put the fuel line on, which is fairly. Actually, I could probably just use this fuel line. It's right here. Something like that, you know. There we go. Done. That wouldn't be too bad. I guess that would work, but at the same time, better just use the fuel line that came with it, right? Considering it's right here, it's pre-cut. I've got the clamps. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. Get this on. We clamped, maybe unclamped. There we go. And put this guy on. And clamped. There. Now, I guess we can get the air filter on. It's here. Let's get that air filter on. There we go. Air filter's in. Now to put the bolts on, or the nuts on, and then the bolt. 1. 2. It's a crazy long bolt. Come on now, cooperate. that does not want to go in. That's not nice. Come on. Just go in straight. There we go. There. That's on. Now, stiffen. Oh, I forgot the stiffener. Smart. Stiffener. Now the nuts. Oh, I forgot the gasket. Oh, for crying in the mud. Oh, of course I did. That's awesome. Sorry, guys. Gasket. Now the air filter. There. Metal plate. And the air filter. There we go. Okay, so choke is on. Generator's on, I think. Maybe not. Now it's on. And let's quickly fire it up and let her run out of fuel. Right, so it's out. Okay, so I'm gonna get set up, and once I'm all set up, I'll turn the cameras back on and we'll be good to go. We'll add fuel to the tank and we'll see how well this runs. And I've got a new sight gauge. Alright guys, I'll see you shortly. So I haven't yet been able to get this thing to be tested, and unfortunately the weather's been pretty bad. It's been raining a lot, and so some water had gotten back into the tank past this again. Well, a little further inspection and take a look in there. I think I found the float. Yeah, I would say that's the float. Let's pick that out. Let me grab my pliers. So let's see if I can get them out. There we go. Perfect. Well, since that's out, give me 1 sec. You can check the description below for the Amazon affiliate link for these fuel gauge floats. Perfect timing for old Grumble Pants to come back to life. So what I want to do is I want to put a screen type inline filter. So to do that, I think I'm going to have to cut off a bit of hose. So I'm going to cut this off. Pop the filter on, obviously. Come on, filter! There. Now I just need to get a couple more clamps. I'll be right back. See if that fuel line I brought over is going to work. Oh yeah, it's going to work. So I'm going to have to remove a little bit more of this hose. There we go. That'll hold. And maybe that wasn't quite enough that I took off yet. So there's no filter in the tank. So I wish I had like a 90-degree filter. That would have been nice. Yeah, I think that would work. There. That's a lot better. Now it's got a filter and the valve. Hopefully that's not going to come back and bite me in the butt later. Okay, so I guess all that's left really to do now would be to add some gasoline and try it out. Here we go, the tank's all cleared out. New fuel float. So I guess we can add some gasoline. Let's add some gas. Wow, it's taking its sweet time to go through the filter. That's weird. That's very weird. Hey, Doug. Not bad, self. Just reading the water. Oh, no worries, man. All I got to do now is get the testing equipment, such as the hair dryer and I guess a little electric stove, like a toaster oven. Yeah, I'll get a toaster oven and I'll get that all set up, and then we'll give it a try. You know what? Let's just try starting it anyway. Let's just give it a fire up. I gotta turn the fuel on. Duh. Okay, so let's give it a sec. Alright, I'm gonna shut the fuel off because I don't need it running forever and burning all the fuel. I just want to fire it up and get it started. So, right. Let's try that again. Yeah, choke is on. Just not sucking up the fuel. Why 40 not want to start? Yeah, choke is on. Doesn't want to start. Choke is on. Maybe just didn't have enough fuel. Let's try that again. Okay. now we're just fine. Right, let's fire it back up. See if she'll start up okay. Let's give it a whirl. Yep, started up, no problem. Good. That means I can get all the rest of the equipment and we can get started with the testing. All right, see you soon, guys. Perfect. Okay, so we've got it set up. I got the toaster oven camera. I've got camera 2. And then I've got camera 3. Make sure camera 3 is actually focused. Yes, camera 3 seems to be focused properly. Okay, good. So what I want to do is, of course, test the generator, but I also want to get it nice and warm and then change the oil. But for members videos, it's going to play in sequence, so you'll see testing the generator and then changing the oil. However, non-members, I will be cutting it basically here, and they will see the oil change first, then the testing of the generator. So that's one way that you definitely know that you're watching the members only video, because you get this part of the dialogue and the regular video for everyone else. Plus, of course, members videos always have more runtime and less cuts, a little more personal experience. You guys get to spend a bit more time with me. And I can talk to you one-on-one. Plus, if you ask me any questions, any members want to ask me any questions, I will happily read them and answer them in future videos. Right, so I guess let's get started with this. Okay, guys, so I've got the toaster oven set up. I've got a hair dryer also. So I guess without further ado, let's turn the fuel on. Choke is on. Generator's on. Let's make sure these devices are off. Yep, they look like they're off. Okay, so she should start up. I mean, it started up before, so it should start up now. I mean, why wouldn't it run? We just had it running. I mean, we just had it running, so it should run just fine. It's only a little bit colder now. I mean, it's been about an hour since the last time I ran it till now, because, well, unfortunately, it started to rain a little bit. And I didn't want to be recording out in the rain. I didn't want to have these electrics out in the rain. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Right, so let's, what the heck, let's fire this thing up. Uh-oh. Let's see. Yep, choke is on. Oh, good. No stalling this time. That's good news. That's good news. Right, so let's try the hair dryer. Oh, that feels nice in the outside air. Cold. I miss it nice and warm. Better warm up my other hand. Okay. So that's roughly about 1800 watts. I think that's what this maximum draw is. Yeah, it says right here 1875 watts. So I guess that's maximum load is the 1875. So I guess almost 1900 watts. Then we'll see with the toaster oven at 1500, and then we'll slowly add some power from this and see how it handles it. So I'll put this at maximum, the 450, and then we'll tell it to stay on. Okay, so I accidentally turned off this camera, or I didn't hit record, one or the other. So let's restart that. So I've got it at 450, and let's turn it on. So that's 1500 watts. Let's let it sit there for a minute. It's handling it just fine. Yeah, I was just getting this, guys. I figured we should test the RPM. Well, unfortunately, this thing, the battery died on it. So, yeah, it's kind of not working. There's not much I can do. So I can't test the RPMs right now. I gotta get a new battery. So that's probably about 2,000. Maybe 2,200. Go to full heat. Now we'll go to maximum, I guess. Yeah, I didn't like it there. It was doing it, but it didn't like it. Well, it smells like whatever we're cooking in there is almost done. But the generator seems to like it. Yeah, nice and warm. So the generator seems to be doing just fine. Right. Yeah, she's smoking. There you go, see, there's some smoke coming out. So it's definitely cooking. It's definitely cooking whatever's in there. So we'll let it cool off for a few minutes. Both the generator and the toaster oven. Right, so that's not too bad. It's working okay. I like how it's working. Not bad at all. I shut the fuel off and I'm not quite sure how long it's going to keep running for. Hopefully it keeps running for a couple minutes because that doesn't show that it's pretty efficient. Right, guys, so that looks like it's all she wrote. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright guys, so I'm just going to get some of this stuff back inside and then we'll get changing the oil. Okay, so one of the things I've got to do the oil change is I got to get this thing up onto a skateboard because that way I can easily drain it out. It gives me a little bit of a space that I can drain it out because it's kind of right on the ground. I don't really want to use my my vacuum siphon. Now, wouldn't that be funny? You run it to run the vacuum so that you can siphon out its oil. Yeah, that would go over well. There, now I'm just going to turn it around so that it matches the slope of the driveway and should drain out nicely. There. There we go, chalk the wheels. Now it can't go either way. Right guys, so I'll be right back. I gotta quickly find out exactly how much oil this takes, and then I'll come right back with that information and we'll get started. Ooh, she's on there tight. That's not nice. Gonna get something to give me a little bit more leverage on that. Give me a second. There we go. Broke it loose. There we go. Now it's peeing like a racehorse. Thrilling YouTube. I know. Absolutely thrilling. Best thing you've ever seen. There. So what do we see? We see sparkly bits. Look at that. There be some sparkly bits. Does that mean anything? Hard to say. But there are some sparkly bits in there. Definitely some sparkly bits. And then some cappuccino swirl. It was doing its little thing at the end there and had to make a little cappuccino swirl. Right, I'm gonna dump this out, and then we're gonna be adding, I think it was 600 milliliters or 21 fluid ounces of 10W30. So I'll be right back. All right, so brand new 10W30, but the label fell off. And opening it, well, got a Champion spark plug. Okay, so for this generator, it takes 600 mil of 10W30, so let's add that. No. Should be looking at the oil, where I'm pouring the oil. This one only goes to 500, so put it to 500. Ooh, that darn wind. And using this partial funnel, we'll pour it in. Sorry if I blocked you at all, it really wasn't intentional. Try to level the skateboard a little for adding the next little bit. Because I'm going to add about 100 mil. That's got to be really close. There we go. About there. Should be good. Did I add a little bit too much? I think I added 200 mil. I'm going to pour a little bit out. Silly me, right? Okay, so yeah, that is 100 mil there. So let's pour that in. Good. I'm just going to put this underneath because it should be, yeah, it should be at the top of the threads if it's full. And it doesn't quite look like it's full. So I'll add a little bit more. Yep. It's full. It's all the way up to the top of the threads, and that's exactly where you want it. And kind of dripping out, as you saw. Perfect. Right, so that's all done. This generator is good to go. Yeah, this generator is all done. Perfect. Let me drain out what remains of this oil back in here. Go on, oil, go home. Right, guys, I don't know if you can see behind me, but yeah, that's a storm system that seems to be blowing in. So we're gonna get some more rain, so I gotta end this video pretty quick. Well, there we go, guys. Not bad, right? We got another one done. Another one done. Oh, what's this? What the heck is that? No, it's a couple of bugs. It's like a couple of beetles. Right. So yeah, we got another one done. Yeah, sure. Probably just give it an air blast, get all the cobwebs and stuff off it. But aside from that, $40 is what I paid for this little guy. 40 bucks. Not bad, right? 40 bucks. So we'll be able to swap this out for maybe another unit. Try something a little bit different to repair. I do have a Coleman. In fact, the funny thing is, the gasoline that I dumped into there was from a Coleman that I had bought that has a bad generator head. That's a video coming up. But yeah, that's it. Another one done. Pretty good. Pretty good. Like this little machine is. Decent little machine. Anyway, guys, that's all for this one. That's all she wrote. We're all done for the now. And see you in the next one. So that was a fun little machine to work on. A lot of fun. I mean, I actually had a lot of fun working on this one. I mean, there was the whole incident where I was starting it with, what was that, body spray? That short. Starting it with body spray. That was fun. I'll link that right here. Fun little thing to work on. Fun little machine to work on. Anyway, guys. Well, guys, you know how it is. Let's see. Chokes left on. Generator off. And of course, spark plug off for safety.